How's everybody doing today? So today I'm going to do a video on this wee saakshi. I had skiffs in it, and then pulled the skiffs out because I listed it for sale. So it didn't sell on eBay for what I had as a minimum bid offer. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pull this one down. I think I'm going to keep it. I like this knife anyway. So I'm going to throw some more skiffs in it. Now these skiffs are supposedly on the compatibility chart the same size that I would need for this knife, but I've bought this size many times and it's always had 11 balls, and this has 12. So I don't know. We're gonna give it a shot. Hopefully it's the same. I'm sure it is, and they just maybe had a little bit room, so they added another ball for some more strength. But I'm going to find out right now. So I had a wooden version of the saakshi, which I did a video on, which you can see. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell the other one because I got the wood one and I kind of like it. And then my son was like, hey, that's a pretty cool knife. I like that. I was like, oh, yeah? All right, well, here, it's yours. And he was very appreciative. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to not have a wee saakshi because I really do like this knife. So I figured if it doesn't sell on eBay with the first listing, you know, maybe I'll pull it down. And it didn't sell today, so that's great right there. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to keep it. You know, I always did kind of like this knife, and I did just buy another knife, so I was like, you know what, I gotta sell something. And this was my reaction to that, I guess. So I'll pull off the stock bearings and we'll give these suckers a try. Knife's pretty clean because I just cleaned it up, changed the bearings before I listed it for sale. There's a KPL. Oh, get back in there. That is a captive pivot, so I'll have to check that. Man, look at the difference. That's pretty crazy, actually. Yeah. Definitely appears to be a higher quality bearing. You know, in the stock bearings, like I said in quite a few of my other videos, they're not bad. They do work well. You know, I mean, I can feel that. That's smooth. See this guy. Yeah, I wonder. That's the first time I've ever really... So I've done reviews on this knife and I've went over it in quite a few videos. I just happened to order these bearings and I figured, you know what? I'm going to throw them in there. Let me put a little KPL on this detent ball. Oh, you don't want to get it on the lock bar. Get some alcohol here. Oh, it'd help if I was on camera, wouldn't it? There we go. what? Let me do that pivot. This thing just moves around, drives me crazy. I need to get a different mat. That might be my next purchase. A decent mat. Do this first. Come on. You'll feel a little click when it clicks down into the method. Am I gonna have to do this really? There it is. Okay. And then you'll see the logo's nice and level, and you know you got it in that groove or that channel. Now we're good to go. As long as it stays in there. So I wouldn't consider this like a necessary upgrade for this knife. It's more, I don't know, more of a preference than anything. Yeah, this mat's going bye-bye for sure. So I did Loctite these a little bit before. And I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I think I'm just going to put it together maybe. If I can get it going. Okay, goodness gracious. There we go. This knife is a little bit more finicky than some of my other knives that take apart. It's not bad. I might just be bad at it. Here we go. This back screw in. I don't know why they just didn't have this back screw as the back of the pocket clip. That's one thing I don't really understand with this one. Get these nice and snug. Okay. Did those guys stay in there? Come on. Here we go. Those can be a little tough to get through that little rectangle if they fall out, so I like to try to keep them in there if possible. And then those are T6s. The other screws are T8s. So pocket clip screws, T6. Which I would probably change if I had the option. I might have the option actually, but they work okay. I'm glad the body screws are at least T8s. Oh, there we go. So this does have a little recessed channel in the carbon fiber. But it's not much of a recessed area. But it's got 2 screws, so you know. Trying to get this little guy in here. There we go. Okay, tight. All right, we should be good to go. I really didn't even check the size of the pivot or the bearings, which I was going to do. But you know what? Those are nice. Okay. Yeah, very nice. Let's check for some blade play. Make sure we don't have any of that. Solid. No up, down, no left or right, and I'm really wrenching on it. And this knife has always been solid. Let me just make sure, give it a little, put the T8 back on, that might help. Okay, and I may have to Loctite this pivot at some point. We'll see. I'm gonna see if it comes loose. You know, it's kind of a crapshoot with some of these. well, with any knife company, as to whether or not the pivot comes loose or not. Because I've had some that I never had to Loctite, and they're just fine. And then I've had others that, you know, the more you flip them, you start to feel like, oh, this action is getting smoother and smoother. Well, yeah, because the pivot's not tight. You know, it does get smoother even if the pivot is tight over time. But yeah, but sometimes, like, if a knife is newer, you just know, hey, this really got smoother for some reason. And that reason is your pivot came loose, your pivot screw. Which this is a captive pivot, like I said, which is kind of nice. So I just wanted to do a quick video swapping these bearings out and kind of talking about the new skiff bearings. So this is the size for most WE knives. There are some exceptions. So it's not all WE knives. But they did add an extra ball, which I actually noticed as soon as I opened the package. I was like, oh, yeah, that's definitely different. And then I looked at my old packages, and it said the ball count was 11. So... yeah. At any rate, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe, and y'all have a good day out there.